You are listening to Stories from the Heart, inspiring tales of life, love, and learning, presented by the Camarillo Healthcare District. In this episode, Carol Leish shares a story about strength, courage, perseverance, and her lifelong journey as a disabilities advocate.
It was July of 1963, a summer day. Mom was driving me and my brothers. I was 10 months old. My brothers were 2 and 3 years old at the time. She was driving us in a red VW Bug on Harbor Boulevard in Ventura. We were hit by a drunk driver. Mom was not seriously hurt. My 2 brothers who were in the back seat were not hurt. However, I was in the back, well behind the back seat, sleeping, and I was unconscious for 10 days, had problems mainly with vision and other coordination issues. Even with my physical challenges, I started kindergarten and elementary school in regular classes. It was difficult for me socially and emotionally because of being teased. I was teased because my voice was hesitant or slurred at times. The left eye wandered as a lazy eye. I walked with a limp with my left leg being a weaker leg. Did get some speech therapy in school and at other times which did help. I also got occupational therapy, which helped too, mainly with my eye-hand coordination. However, I got upset because my artwork of flowers didn't look like the other students in elementary school, and I also got upset because I was picked last for sports teams such as softball. However, in junior high and high school, to make it easier on myself, I had adapted PE, which was non-competitive. And in high school, the adapted PE teacher encouraged me to join the junior varsity swim team, which I did. I'm proud to say after my first year, I got a plaque for the most improved junior varsity swimmer. I improved my time in both the freestyle and the backstroke. And after graduating from high school in June of 1981, in September of 1981, I went to Cal State San Bernardino to get my bachelor's in psychology. I changed my major to human development because I was more interested in child development because of the challenges I had gone through and wanting to help other kids. While I was working on my bachelor's, I lived in the dorms at this college. Then I was doing well in college, so I decided to stay in school and work on my master's in education, counseling education, and which started in January of 2018. While working on my master's, I was living with a family I knew that lived close to the college. So I would drive to classes which were in the late afternoon or evening. This was between 1986 and 1988. I was also substitute teaching between 1987 and 1990, elementary grades through San Bernardino City Schools at the time. One of my professors in grad school talked about an interesting board game called the Talking, Feeling, Doing game by Dr. Richard Gardner, which changes attitudes with open-ended questions. So the light bulb went off. I realized I could create a game dealing with disability awareness, but focusing on capabilities instead of disabilities. Initially, I called the game the Capable Kids game, and initially it had 3 categories, and people would score points according and get one of the categories according to the number rolled on the die. If you roll a 1 or a 2, you'd get an emotion card and score 1 or 2 points. A personal example of an emotion card is, how would you feel if somebody asked, "What's wrong with you?" I'd be angry at that person for asking such a rude question, and I didn't even answer him. If you roll a 3 or a 4, you get an experience card. An example of an experience card is, how would you, if you go out to a lunch with a friend who is blind and a waiter asks you what your friend wants to eat, what do you say? I'd say to him, "I don't know, ask her." And then if you roll a 5 or a 6, you get an imagination card and score 5 or 6 points. An example of an imagination card is, imagine you used a hearing aid and somebody yelled at you. What would you say? I would say, "Please speak to me normally. I could hear you just fine." Anyway, through lots of networking, luck, and chutzpah all rolled together, I got connected to Franklin of Franklin Learning Systems, which was a game company. And we got connected in 1999. We would talk on the phone and or email once or twice a week for 2 years. We would refine the 3 categories I already had, and we would work on challenge cards together. An example of a challenge card is, how do wheelchairs run? Is it electric motors, mice on a treadmill, or jet engines? We would also work on putting a game board together. One of the pictures I suggested, because I like Star Trek and the talking computers, which do talk now, is a man is at work and he's in front of the computer, and the computer asks him, "What should I do today now?" After 2 years, in the spring of 2002, proud to say the game was published, and we chose the name Call Me Capable for the game because that was more inclusive of more ages versus calling it the Capable Kids game. So I was very excited when I got the game in the mail, ripped open the box. It brought a twinkle to my eyes and large smile to my face. Proud to say the game was published for 15 years between 2002 and 2017. And the first publisher, Franklin, even sold it internationally, which included England and Canada. I realized that dreams do come true, because my dream of educating others without disabilities, that people with disabilities have capabilities too. I like the quote by Eleanor Roosevelt, She said the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of the dream. Dreams do come true. Call me Capable Carol.
Thank you for listening to Stories from the Heart, inspiring tales of life, love, and learning, presented by the Camarillo Healthcare District. If you would like to share your story, please visit camhealth.com and fill out our form under Share Your Story. You'll work with a storytelling coach to fine-tune your story for broadcast. We are looking for people to share health or caregiver journeys, to talk about personal experience, moments in time, and lessons learned while navigating life. These life stories will paint a visual picture with words. They should be 5 to 10 minutes long and must be primarily about the storyteller and their truths, experiences, and emotions.